Good morning. So I'm having my mug of mushrooms. Good rainy morning. I'm heading to the craft room and I thought I would just share my cup of tea. That is Almond Energy Mushroom Superfood. I have mushrooms about 2 or 3 times a day and I think it's really helping my motivation levels, my energy levels, my mood, my health, and I recommend it.
This drink, I like it.
I know, it's great, right?
Another!
I'm not sponsored by them, but maybe one day, huh? Alright, we're heading to the craft room. Get your drink, your coffee, your morning mushrooms, whatever you like. We'll see you there. Bye. Let's get started with our first pumpkin. Now this pumpkin I used a thrift store porcelain doll body, and I took off the clothes so I could make a place for the neck. I attached some felt strips to the top with Fabri-Tac, and that just helped close up that space a little more, and I left a spot for a wire to go into so I could attach the head. For the head, I poked a wire in from underneath, and I placed a little bit of that Model Magic clay, and it helped secure the head. After that was dry, the head was on really secure. I replaced the dress that had been on that doll, and this is one of your basic versions you could do. Just keep the dress that's already on the doll. It's really cute. Looks like a little schoolgirl pumpkin. Super cute. And I added some leaves around the collar area. And I clipped a little, I liked that, but I knew it was going to be hard to attach that. So I just took some leaves off and attached them to the top with a little piece of that fern. Now for this doll, I had a Barbie body that my nieces had painted, and it didn't have a head, so it was perfect for this doll. I popped a little hole underneath that pumpkin and glued that on with Tacky Glue. Here I'm making the skirt, and I cut the fabric down along one side, the length of the legs up to the hips. And I'm just going to use a basting stitch on the top of that. And that makes a really nice gathering. It makes a really nice skirt. So I just did that all the way down. You just baste the very top. I hold the needle in my palm and just use the tip of the needle. So I use a long needle for this, but you use what works for you. Go all the way down to the edge of your fabric. I don't really measure anything, as you can see. I just cut it the length I needed it. And when that's finished, I tied it on. Made a really cute skirt. This material is from Wal-Mart. It was in a fat quarter bunch. Really inexpensive. And a lot of good variety of Halloween fabric. Now this I reversed the skirt so I could get to that back seam that I needed to close up. And I should have used a basting stitch here, but I went for a whip stitch, which in the end you can't tell one way or the other what I used. So use what works for you. If you want to put this on a machine and sew it closed with a machine, then go ahead. But I felt like hand stitching, and I'm sitting at my table here. It worked out just fine. Now I'm making the top, and I'm just making a rough top, actually. I found a part of that fabric that I wanted to showcase on the front. I marked it with a marker, and I just clipped down for the arms. And this worked out perfectly, honestly. I've done this a few times, and for these art dolls, this is really easy way to make a top, and it turns out wicked cute. So I made a nice rectangle. I put that up to the neckline there, and then I reversed it. I got my big long needle and some embroidery floss, and I like the color of this. It matched that fabric really nicely. So I put one stitch at the top of each shoulder, down close to the shoulder, and that is it. Just one stitch out, back in, give it a knot, clip it off. I did the other side. I thought I was going to have to go back in and do a little bit more work in there, but that was fine. That's all it needed. So I took that off, clipped off the excess, took it off, flipped it around, and voila! It's magic. It made a super cute top. No fuss, no muss. These little dolls are fun to dress. Then I reversed the skirt back. Now it was a full skirt. I just put a slip knot in that so I didn't lose the ends, but as long as you hold the ends, you don't need to do that part. And I had tried a couple different materials to see what I liked, and I chose this material. It was really cute. I gave it a carnival look.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Hello, this is my pumpkin gremlin. I made him. I used, what was that stuff called?
Crayola Model Magic.
Crayola Model Magic. And then what were the eyes called?
They're just safety eyes from
Safety
Hobby Lobby.
eyes from Hobby Lobby. And it was this pumpkin from also Hobby Lobby.
That one was from Dollar Tree, honey.
Dollar Tree pumpkin.
Yep.
And the stem that came out of the bottom and the stem that came out of the top, I used both of them in this project. I used the stem that came out of the bottom as the arms, and the stem that came out of the top
That
as
is so
the
cute.
tail.
Stinking cute. I
And,
love it, buddy.
I just made his feet.
I love it. It's so cute. Good job.
Thank you.
I love your pumpkin goblin.
I made this.
You made this.
I made this.
We made it!
Good job, baby.
Thank you. Can I see the video?
Uh-huh. That turned out so cute. Now the belt I just folded both sides in and tied it in the back. You could make this longer and turn it into a little bow, but that's all I did. And that part of the outfit was completed. I wanted to use the fabric one more time on here, so I looked at it for the sleeves, and I wasn't really sure about that. And I looked at it for the bottom hem of the dress, and I didn't like that, so I went for the collar. And I took a strip of fabric, folded it in half with the right side out, and I basted along that edge. And this makes a really cute collar, very whimsical. I was super happy with how this turned out, that I made another collar like this for a different doll. It's super easy, and it just kind of curls up on itself there. I followed the rest of that fabric all the way down off camera. And when I was finished, I tied that on. Now you could tie it in the back, or you could tie it in the front and hang a little charm on that, but I just tied it in the back because I liked to see those stripes. This has a really cute effect. Looks really kind of fancy. Cute. Now for the hem, I found a really nice piece of old lace that my mom had stashed. She has a little lace stash, so I sort through that and I pull things out of that, and this was the perfect length for the bottom of this dress. And I used tacky glue. I did on the side. I got a scrap piece of fabric and I tried a small piece of lace to make sure that this would work, and it worked perfectly. That dries really clear and you can't even tell that's on there. For the sleeves, I found in her lace stash this piece of black lace, and I cut it to fit the arms, and I just did a basting stitch down that one side, and I went back to the other side to just secure it a little bit more. Found a cute little bat to stick on for a bow. Completed the look right there. So yeah, I just went around both pieces of fabric with a basting stitch, catching both pieces of fabric. It's not real professional, but for this it worked, and that's all I was really going for, was to attach the sleeve to the rest of the dress, and it worked. It's a great way to make doll clothes that aren't likely to be coming off and changed into other things, because this isn't a toy, it's going to be an art doll. It's for decoration now. Mostly decoration. She could go out for a walk once in a while, but she's more of a homebody now. And knotted that at the end. I did the lace in sections, letting it dry, so I didn't have a big mess of if it came loose or anything like that. So just work in small sections and let it dry. Take your time with that, and you'll be happy with the result. For this pumpkin, I had another porcelain doll body that I attached the head to. And here I'm making little shoes out of Model Magic, little elf-looking shoes. And this turned out super cute. I just formed it right onto the foot. And I got the look that I wanted with that. So don't be afraid to play around with your materials. You might happen upon something that works out really good for you. Now on her arms, you can see that I had painted up her arm partly orange and brown, and I thought I was going to bring her sleeve down there. I'm just painting the little booties brown there, and then on the arm I decided not to make sleeves on this dress, so I used a strip of fabric for her collar, just like the other doll. In the same way, just made a strip, wasn't perfect, folded it in half, and put a basting stitch along that. And it looks so cute. I don't even sew it onto the dress, I just tie it on and let it be its own piece of fashion. That basting stitch does go by really fast. I mean, this is sped up, but it still didn't take me very long to make that. So as I was saying, on her sleeves, I just put a little piece of lace around her sleeve and turned those orange hands into gloves. And I think that worked out just fine for her. Yeah. Now I had to figure out how to attach the head a bit better, and I had to do some touch-up painting on the stem. I poked some paper towels in there. It wasn't quite hollow, but the center core was hollow. And then a little tacky glue, and I pushed that onto the wire that I had in there. And that held really well. Here's the lace for the gloves. So much fun to make one-of-a-kind things. I found some leaves, a button, some little bells, and that was a little earring. I just pushed that into the foam and glued the button on with some of that tacky glue. She's just about finished. There, she's finished there. That turned out super cute. There they are hanging out together. Hello, well that wraps up our third video. We finished some dolls' clothes, and I think that they're really one-of-a-kind pieces for home decor. If you're following along the tutorial and making your own, then you have some cool homemade things that you can display for fall and Halloween if you celebrate Halloween. And I think it's fun. Homemade stuff is really cool. Nobody else is gonna have one like it. So go out and make something. You know, goof around with some materials. You don't have to be perfect. Just do it. You'll get better. You can do this. All right? Bye.